In the heart of the Igbo land, nestled between thick forests and mist-covered hills, lay a small village named Umuma. The people of Umuma were known for their industrious nature and deep-rooted customs, which had been passed down through generations. The village had always lived in peace, until one night, when everything changed. It was the night of the annual New Yam festival. Fires burned brightly, and the people danced and sang praises to Chukwu, the supreme god. Laughter filled the air, and even the oldest men joined in the celebration, swaying to the rhythm of the drums. But just as the festivities reached their peak, a strange, chilling silence fell over the crowd. The drums stopped, and everyone's eyes turned to the village square. Out of nowhere, a fierce wind swept through the village, extinguishing the fires and leaving everyone in darkness. When the wind ceased, a figure draped in black stood at the center of the square, his face hidden under a hood. A faint glow emitted from his skin, casting an eerie light on those around him. The villagers watched in awe and fear, holding their breaths. "People of Umuma," the figure's voice echoed, dark and raspy, "I come with a warning. Your ancestors are displeased with the blood spilled on this sacred land. Your greed and disregard for our ancient laws have tainted this soil." He lifted his hand, and a single flame appeared in his palm, flickering ominously. "Until you right your wrongs, Umuma shall know no peace. The land will wither, the streams will dry, and a curse shall befall your children." The villagers, paralyzed with fear, dared not speak as the figure vanished into the night. Then, a voice rang out, piercing the silence. "This is the curse of our ancestors." It was Elder Ezekiel, the oldest man in Umuma, who had witnessed many generations pass. "We have angered the spirits." The villagers exchanged nervous glances, murmuring to one another. The festival was abandoned, and people returned to their homes, whispering prayers to ward off the curse. But it was only the beginning. Days turned into weeks, and slowly, the curse began to manifest. The land became barren, the lush, green fields that once flourished were now cracked and dry. The streams, once filled with clear, refreshing water, were reduced to mere trickles. The people of Umuma grew desperate, as their crops withered and food became scarce. Children began to fall ill with strange fevers that no herbalist could cure. Mothers watched helplessly as their once lively children lay motionless, their eyes filled with pain. As the sickness spread, fear and despair gripped the village. The people were left wondering why they had been cursed and what they could do to appease the ancestors. Elder Ezekiel summoned the villagers to the shrine of Oni, the earth goddess, seeking answers. The shrine was an ancient structure adorned with carvings and symbols that held deep meaning. There, he performed a ritual, calling upon the spirits to reveal the source of their suffering. The oracle, Neka, entered a trance, her body trembling as the spirits spoke through her. "The curse cannot be lifted until the blood that stained the earth is cleansed," she chanted, her voice rising and falling. "There is a sin hidden among you, a murder committed in secret. Until the truth is revealed, the curse will remain." The villagers looked at one another, each suspecting the other of harboring a dark secret. Murmurs filled the air as they left the shrine, feeling the weight of the curse on their shoulders. Determined to save their village, the villagers decided to investigate. They questioned each other, uncovering old grievances and hidden conflicts. Old family feuds resurfaced, and neighbors began to turn against one another. It seemed that everyone had a suspicion, but no one had proof. One family, however, was at the center of the gossip. Nwok, a young man known for his quiet and brooding nature, was rumored to have a dark past. He lived alone on the edge of the village, rarely interacting with others. Some believed he had committed the crime the oracle spoke of. A group of villagers confronted Nwok, demanding he confess. But he maintained his innocence, his face blank and his voice steady. "I have done nothing wrong," he said, refusing to offer any further explanation. Frustrated and unable to find answers, the villagers grew restless. They turned once again to Elder Ezekiel, pleading with him to find a solution. "We must appease the ancestors," he said solemnly. "But it will require a sacrifice to cleanse our land." The villagers knew what this meant. Someone would have to offer themselves to the spirits. But who would be willing to make such a sacrifice? Days passed, and the villagers debated who should be chosen. Arguments broke out as families fought to protect their loved ones. It seemed that no one was willing to step forward, until one night, when a young girl named Adiku volunteered. Adiku was known for her kindness and selflessness. She was beloved by all, and her sacrifice weighed heavily on the villagers' hearts. They tried to dissuade her, but she was resolute. "If my life can save Umwama, then I will gladly give it," she said, her voice steady. "This land is my home, and I will not let it perish." A solemn ceremony was held, and Adiku was taken to the shrine of Oni, where she offered herself to the spirits. Her parents and the villagers watched with tear-filled eyes as she performed the ritual, praying that her sacrifice would bring peace. But as dawn approached, something strange happened. A loud wail echoed through the village, and a shadowy figure appeared once again in the square. "Fools," the figure hissed. "The sacrifice has not been accepted. The curse remains." The villagers were stunned, unable to comprehend what had gone wrong. Adiku had given her life, yet the curse had not been lifted. It seemed that they had misunderstood the spirit's message. The villagers grew desperate. They returned to the oracle, begging her to seek further guidance. Neka, once again entering a trance, revealed a chilling truth. "The blood that taints this land is the blood of betrayal," she chanted. "A man in this village took the life of his own kin in cold blood. The spirits demand justice for the crime." The villagers gasped, realizing that the curse was not merely about a sacrifice but about justice. They began to question the families, seeking to uncover any hidden rivalries. It was then that one of the elders, Obina, confessed a terrible secret. Years ago, during a dispute over land, he had killed his brother in a fit of rage. He had buried the body in the forest, hoping that no one would ever find out. The weight of his guilt had haunted him, but he had never confessed, fearing the shame and punishment. With trembling hands, Obina fell to his knees, tears streaming down his face. "I am the reason for this curse," he cried. "I am the one who brought suffering upon Umwama. Forgive me, ancestors." The villagers were horrified, but they understood that they had no choice. Justice had to be served. They gathered at the shrine, where Obina was to face the spirits. Under the light of the full moon, Obina performed the final ritual, confessing his crime and asking for forgiveness from the ancestors. The villagers watched in silence, their hearts heavy with sorrow and relief. As he completed the ritual, a powerful wind swept through the village, and the figure reappeared once more. "The spirits have heard your plea," the figure declared, his voice softer this time. "The curse shall be lifted, for justice has been served." With that, the figure vanished, and the land around them began to change. The barren fields regained their lush greenery, the streams flowed with fresh water, and the children recovered from their mysterious illnesses. The curse had been lifted, and peace returned to Umwama. The people of Umwama learned a valuable lesson from their ordeal. They realized the importance of honesty, justice, and respect for their traditions. And though Obina's crime had brought them great suffering, his confession had ultimately saved them all. The villagers honored Adiku, who had offered herself to save her people, and they vowed never to let greed or hatred tear their community apart again. From that day forward, Umwama became a symbol of resilience and unity, forever remembered as the village that overcame a terrible curse through truth and justice.